know when ready to go.
Just a moment.
Okay.
And
Let me know when ready to go.
and can y'all hear me fine?
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
Just
Okay.
a moment. Just a moment.
And
Let me know when ready to go.
and can y'all hear me fine?
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Just a
Okay.
moment. Just a moment.
And
Let me know when ready to go.
and can y'all hear me fine?
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
Thank you. Okay.
Just a moment.
And
Let me know when yes, sir, Commissioner.
Okay.
Right, so we ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd like to call the July 12th Planning Commission meeting to order. Please allow me to read into the record. In accordance with Freedom of Information Act, a copy of the agenda was posted on radio, TV, the bulletin board in the county administration building, and provided to persons requesting the information. And so we thank all of you, including the public, for joining us here today on our July 12th Planning Commission meeting. First item on the agenda is our consent agenda, and the chair will entertain a motion on our consent agenda. Are there any adjustments to the consent agenda that we need to be aware of, Bryce?
Yes, sir. For case number 1 under map amendments, which is case 21-060 MA, the applicant has withdrawn his request at this time.
Okay,
And that is the only amendment to the agenda that's before you.
I would just ask the commission members, based on the consent agenda, it appears that cases 3, 4, and 5, Farrell Road, Barber Drive, and Alpine Road would remain on the consent agenda, whereas Gates Road will be discussed. So does anybody want discussion on items 3, 4, or 5?
Yes, and thank you, Commissioner Carnes. Those items that you listed, the only comments we have are from the applicants. We do not have any either supporting or opposing those requests outside of the applicant.
Okay.
okay.
So
you.
it's just the applicants for 3, 4, and 5?
Yes.
Okay, is that, you want to put that in the form of a motion, Ms. Carnes?
Yeah, so I would, hearing no objection, I would offer that we approve the consent agenda, which will consist of approval of the minutes, approval of the road names, and then approval of cases 3, 4, and 5, with the removal of case 1 by the applicant, and then case 2 we'll have discussion on.
Okay.
Commissioner Carnes and Mr. Chair, as part of that motion, I believe Commissioner Carnes stated the approval of the minutes, but there are no minutes for that were presented for you.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so approval of the road names and cases 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by a roll call vote, Ms. Price.
Okay, Gilchrist,
Aye.
Carnes,
Aye.
Yonke,
Aye.
Carlisle, Dennis,
Aye.
Grady,
Aye.
Taylor, Branham,
Aye.
Frierson.
Aye.
Right.
Okay.
Passes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Price. That passes, and we will now move right along to our first case, case number 21-019 MA.
All right, the first item again is case 21-019 MA for today. The applicant is Robert F. Fuller. The location is 1050 Gates Road. The applicant is requesting to rezone property from rural to light industrial. Staff recommends disapproval of this request. Principally, the request will be inconsistent with the objectives outlined in the comprehensive plan, which is designated neighborhood medium density. Again, so we recommended disapproval based on the fact that the site is not located within a designation which supports this request. According to the plan, commercial development or non-residential development may be considered for location along main road corridors and within contextually appropriate distance from the intersection of a primary arterial. But however, there's a however in this, the proposed request would be in character with and compatible to the surrounding land uses and zoning districts along Gates Road. As a variety of industrial and commercial properties are located adjacent to and nearby the subject property, again, along Gates Road and the nearby intersection of Dutch Fork Road. That is it for staff's presentation.
Okay, commissioners, any questions for the staff on this case?
Yes, I know we got some comments in, however, I did not get them in time because I'm out, so I did not see them prior to this. So I would like some time to either read those in or.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dennis. We got those comments in a little bit late today, so we just tried to get them to you, all of the commission members, so you will have them. But as we always do, staff will read those into the record.
Okay, because I'm very interested to hear those before I do my thing.
Yes. All right, and so we have 4 comments, I believe. 3 are in support and 1 is against, and Mr. Delays will read those into the record.
Okay, Mr. Delays, go right ahead.
All right, Mr. Chairman. The first letter is from Mr. Fuller. Let's see, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I'm owner applicant Bruce Dyer, BGIN Investments, LLC, in the rezoning and intended use of this property on Gates Road as a convenience garage for the owner's personal vehicles and watercraft. This is a large lot located in near proximity to the owner's family residence. It is in a mixed-use area that includes both residences and active businesses in a variety of zoning district designations. The applicant has purchased the property, therefore has a substantial economic stake in its appropriate development and maintenance as an enhancement to the overall community. Mr. Dyer has communicated and met with the neighboring residents, including principals of the Ballantyne Civic Association. He has shared his commitment to become a participant in the community's good growth efforts. The applicant first pursued the development as an improvement within the existing RU zoning district classification, but was advised it would not be possible. Bruce Dyer has discussed the lot's use with the adjacent neighbors and with county staff regarding use compatibility with the existing neighborhood character. The LI zoning district appears to be the proper designation because of the storage space required as the primary use of the property. The 12-acre property parcel adjacent to the north and east of the site is already zoned LI. Therefore, this request is wholly consistent with existing zoning in the area. This rezoning is for an exclusively private use for personal vehicles without any commercial aspect or use on the premises. The attractive new building and proposed use will not create any type of traffic demand on a daily or periodic basis, and the lot size is large enough to accommodate the intended use without disruption, traffic hazard, or other interference with usual neighborhood activity or nearby primary residential uses. The owner/applicant is committed to doing it right. Your recommendation of approval of this rezoning will contribute to converting a currently vacant lot into a well-maintained, useful amenity within the community. Thank you for your favorable consideration. Robert F. Fuller, attorney for the applicant.
Okay. Are there any questions for the applicant on this case, commissioners? If not, we will move right along with the remaining comments.
Mr. Chair, I just had a question as to representation made in that application letter. I wanted to direct that to staff. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So the representation made is that the applicant first pursued the development as an improvement within the existing RU zoning district classification, but was advised it would not be possible. Could you confirm that and give us a little more information about why that would be true if it is?
Yes, sir, Mr. Brandon. So the issue that we were running into is that the type of use that was being pursued with the building permit would be considered an accessory structure, basically like a garage or storage, but unfortunately without a principal structure or something that is, the primary use, then an accessory can't be permitted without a primary.
Does that help, Commissioner?
Yeah, so the garage or the storage, it would only be permissible under the RU classification if it were serving as an accessory structure to some other primary structure. Is that accurate restatement?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional comments for the applicant?
So in that, I just wanted to make, this is for personal use. That's what their statement's for.
Yes, sir, that's correct. At least the intent from discussions with the applicant, it was for their own personal use, not for a commercial use.
Oh, okay.
And again, Mr. Dennis, that's one of the reasons why staff traditionally doesn't either bring up a site plan or state what the specific use is for, that's coming before you for a rezoning request, primarily because the approval of the light industrial does not in any way limit it to what it is stated the intended use is. It can be used for uses within that zoning designation.
I'm well aware if we made this light industrial, I mean, all he's got to do is sell it and something else can come in there.
Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at with that personal use.
I'll just offer, we've had this kind of request before where somebody wants to just build a big storage building and we don't allow it in rural if there isn't some other use that it's supporting. So I'll just offer to the other commissioners that this is something we've seen before, where somebody just wants to build a storage building on a lot not properly zoned for just a storage building.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Commissioner Carnes. Any additional comments from commissioners? Not, Mr. DeLange, we'll move forward with the other comments.
All right, Mr. Chairman. So our next comment is from Brad Everhart, President of Ballantyne Civic Association. Says, Dear Commissioners, on behalf of the Ballantyne Civic Association regarding the lot at 1050 Gates Road that is subject of Bruce Dyer's application for change of zoning classification from RU to LI, Mr. Dyer has personally advised us at our monthly meeting earlier this year that his reason for the request is to suitably improve this lot to garage/store multiple personal motor vehicles and or watercraft within a secure, newly constructed building. His lot improvement will include landscaping the lot to accommodate the vehicles/craft securely within the structure, inconspicuously to the surrounding neighboring uses. This is understood to be an exclusively private use for personal vehicles without any commercial aspect or use on the premise. The proposed use will not create any type of traffic demand on a daily or periodic basis, and the lot size is large enough to accommodate the intended use without disruption, traffic hazard, or other interference with usual neighborhood activity or nearby primary residential uses. We are in complete favor of approval of this zoning change. Thank you. And then we have one other comment for approval from Murray Klepper. It says, Commissioners, I am a near neighbor to the lot at 1050 Gates Road that is subject to Bruce Dyer's application for change of zoning classification from RU to LI. Mr. Dyer has personally advised me that his reason for the request is to suitably improve this lot to garage/store multiple personal vehicles, motor vehicles, and or watercraft within a secure, newly constructed building. His lot improvement will include landscaping the lot so as to accommodate the vehicles/craft securely within the structure, inconspicuously to the surrounding neighboring uses. This is understood to be exclusively private use for personal vehicles without any commercial aspect or use of the premise. The proposed use will not create any type of traffic demand on a daily or periodic basis, and the lot size is large enough to accommodate the intended use without disruption of traffic hazard or other interference with usual neighborhood activity or nearby primary residential uses. I favor approval of the zoning change, Murray Klepper. And that's it for the comments for, and we do have one against.
Okay.
And this is from Catherine Crowley. And I apologize, I'm gonna have to put my timer on for this one. It's a couple pages just in case.
I also have the timer on for Mr. DeLage.
Okay, so concerning case number 21-019 MA, Robert Full representing Bruce Dyer. This letter will be read at meeting on July 12, 2021. Dear Richland County Planning Commission members and Richland County Council, this letter is about the proposed zoning change RU to LI light industrial at 1050 Gates Road, 1.16 acres. According to the NAICS code, this would be classified as wholesale distribution, storage, garage for personal vehicles, game processing, venison, etc. Uses are usually controlled operations, meaning relatively clean, quiet, and free of objectionable or hazardous elements such as smoke, noise, odor, or dust. Processing related to manufacturing apparel, a bakery, or processing soft drinks and or waters, computers, appliances, electronics, dairy products, dolls, toys, games. Our bedrooms would be approximately 80 feet from the proposed change. We're at 1058 Gates, and there is a fishing pond behind our house, which our grandchildren love. Also, we have a lot of birds, herons, ducks, hawks, owls, etc., as well as we feed the local ones at our feeders and provide houses for the bluebirds. We have had wild turkeys, deer, and other animals visit. Please understand Gates Road is only 0.4 of a mile long and is already home to 5 businesses, 3 residences, 1 with boat storage near Shadowwood subdivision that has Lake Murray access. Highway 176 across from Gates Road, enters Shadowwood. We also have a railroad track about 0.2 of a mile down 0.4 of a mile Gates Road. There are also 4 pieces of land for sale, 5 counting 1050 Gates Road. Beyond the 2 ponds with the dam in between is the Columbia soccer fields and Valentine Park, which are adjacent to Cedar Mill subdivision on the left in the railroad. Let's see, tracks are on the right.
Okay. Does that mean time's up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Lake. Is that all that we have signed up to speak, to comment on this case? Delayed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay, commissioners, what's your pleasure on this particular case? Chair will entertain any motions, further discussions.
I make a motion to send this to county council for disapproval.
Okay. Is there a second? I thought I heard a second. Was there a second on this? Ms. Carnes, did you have a comment?
Well, I was just gonna ask staff if they can offer any of the history, if possible, of the rezoning of the Lions Group property, the LI that's next door. If there's sort of a camp or something.
Mr. Price, did y'all get that?
Yes. What specific were you looking for, Commissioner Carnes?
I mean, fundamentally, I'm opposed to this idea that someone should just be able to rezone a piece of property to put a storage building on it, knowing that all the possible uses that it could become. But at the same time, we've got this enormous parcel zoned LI. You've got GC across the street. So I'm just curious if there's any history on why LI is on the neighboring parcel, given that it appears to be for charitable use. It's owned by a charity.
So it appears that there was a rezoning case in the past. The adjacent property at the time was rezoned to light industrial under case number 0218 MA. So it was back in 2002.
Something that predates me. Amazing. Some of history. Okay. But I mean, I'll second the motion to send this forward to council with a recommendation of disapproval.
Okay. It's been-
Mr. Chair, if I just want to offer as well to debate on that motion, if I could.
Sure.
Very difficult case. I think pros and cons to each side, as the vice chair suggested. I too wonder to some extent how those rezonings took place that are along the railroad track. I do wonder if the railroad track's presence down the boundary of some of these other properties played a part. But I do also agree and feel like we're getting pretty far away from the main thoroughfare there, which is Dutch Fork Road. A lot of the ones that are in the immediate vicinity that are zoned some sort of commercial or something like that do front or have frontage on Dutch Fork Road. And at some point, as we move away from a main thoroughfare and move into a residential area in an area that, you know, the future land use map shows as neighborhood medium density, there just has to be a spot where you stop and then you move back into that residential. So I believe I'm inclined to support the motion, but I did want to express that certainly there are factors that would merit both sides of the conversation.
No, totally agree. Are there any other comments on this particular case? There's a motion.
I'll just, for my motion, I'll just go on record is, I understand what Commissioner Carnes and Commissioner Brown said, and that's why I went that way. Because, I mean, at some point you got to draw the line. If you do this light industrial and we're getting into a residential area, rural area, it doesn't make sense. I mean, we've denied a lot less and a lot more doing along the same lines, and this does not fit the comprehensive plan. So that's why I went with the recommendation for disapproval.
Any additional comments? Been moved and properly second that we send case number 21-019 MA forward to council with recommendation of disapproval. No other further discussion. Chairman, roll call vote.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
sorry. Just maybe I can answer a question that Commissioner Carnes posed earlier. And again, not trying to make this more difficult for the Planning Commission as we go forward, but looking at case 02-18 MA, which previously established the light industrial zoning, believe would it be west of the site or maybe south of the site. Just looking under our previous, looking at that case again, looks like it was recommended by staff to approve that zoning for light industrial. Of course, that was also under a different comprehensive plan, which that comprehensive plan actually supported the light industrial at that location. And so a little bit of a conflict, and it was also recommended approval by the Planning Commission also for it. So the change in the comprehensive plan from what was in place back in 2002 and to what is to the current comprehensive plan does kind of conflict.
I appreciate that, Mr. Price. And I mean, it's just, if you looking at the map and looking at this corridor, this Gates Road, by either zoning or use, it's pretty commercial or industrial. I mean, some of them are non-conforming uses. There's a relatively large parcel across the street that's zoned rural that appears to have some kind of a business on it. You know, you've got the commercial across the street, you've got this light industrial tract that is vacant up against the tracks. And then you've got, you know, one home that's kind of been surrounded by all this, and another undeveloped parcel that's still zoned rural. These are tough spots. I mean, I still support staff's recommendation, but I can sure see where recognizing that Gates Road is just basically commercial in nature, but for one home.
Thank you, Ms. Carnes. Based upon what Mr. Price has shared with us, any additional comments? We have a motion and second on the table. If there are no comments, the chair will entertain roll call vote, Mr. Price.
Okay. The motion is for disapproval.
Motion is for disapproval, yes.
Those in favor of the motion, Gilchrist,
Aye.
Carnes,
I
Yonke,
Aye.
Carlisle, Dennis,
Aye.
Grady,
Aye.
Taylor, Branham,
Aye.
Frierson.
Aye.
That motion passes.
Okay, and again, we are a recommending body to county council. They will meet on the 27th. Is that right, Mr. Price? I think that's right.
It is correct.
And the applicant is welcome at that time to come back to have a discussion with county council about this particular case here. This is another one of those cases where just major conflict with the comprehensive plan, but this will be another opportunity for the applicant to weigh in on this with county council as we begin to move forward with some of our recommendations that will be coming out of the new code that will be coming about. So thank you for that, everybody. I think that's it on the map amendments today.
That is correct.
Okay, great. We moving right along. The review of the commission rules and procedures. Price.
Yes, sir. That was just included as part of your package, not necessarily for the commission to take any action today. It is requested that each of the members review the rules and procedures and kind of come up with any recommendations. As you may see, you can forward those to staff between now and your next meeting, which won't be until September. And actually it'll be September the 9th. Yes, I'm sure everybody's happy. But if you can review those, and if there are some questions you may have or any suggestions about any of the sections that are before you, you can provide those to staff, and we will include those in any recommendations that we will make. And it's the intent that at the September meeting that we will kind of go through those rules and procedures, maybe almost line by line, to make sure that they're really up to date with some of the changing times that that we're in now, and make sure that we can address not only what's happening now, but also in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Price. And for commissioners, we certainly want to take the time necessary at our September meeting to go through this very deliberately, because there have been a lot of questions about the rules as it relates to our procedures. And I certainly want to make sure that we have an opportunity to weigh in on those. So I look forward to having that conversation in September. So please feel free to recommend any comments that you want to have considered prior to that to staff, and they will make sure that they circulate those.
Chairman, I got one thing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dennis.
Just remember when everybody's looking at these rules and procedures that our new current LDC that we passed, there's some things in here that kind of point to that. So be mindful of the new timelines and deadlines that we passed on to county council. That would follow this. So just keep that in mind.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Any additional comments on this subject? Not moving on. Chairman's report. I don't have anything except to just hope everybody had a great 4th of July. For those of you that are on vacation, we hope you enjoy your vacation. Thank you for taking a minute to still offer your service to Richland County. That means a lot. And so as a consequence of that, the chairman will not prolong the meeting today so that we can move forward. But enjoy your vacations, and I look forward to seeing all of you again in September. Any other items for discussion? Price?
No, sir. Again, that section is reserved for the planning commission members or anything that y'all may want to add to the agenda for discussion.
Any discussion items from the commissioners?
The next meeting is in person, correct?
Yes, sir. As of this time, it is scheduled to be in person. We will definitely reach out to you, kind of give you the particulars of how that's going to operate, with us going into chambers or, any direction that we get from administration regarding the use of the building, how the public will come in, and also how staff will present.
I'm just more worried about my wardrobe. No more Columbia shirts and shorts. Back to ties and pants.
If nothing else, just the pants. So.
Gotcha.
Ms. Carnes, I think you had a comment.
Yeah, I was gonna just sort of off into the commission and the staff and stuff, but I believe I'll be resigning my seat. I've gotten so busy at work and just not able to commit the time necessary to all this good work. So I know I've been on for a fair amount of time, but I think my time is up.
Well, Commissioner Carnes, I hear you loud and clear on that. You don't have to run away from us. I think they're going to put me and you both off here soon, but no, I hear you loud and clear on that. And certainly we can't say enough about the work that you have committed to this county and more specifically to this commission for so many years. So if that is the desire, it is certainly welcome news on your behalf, but sad for us to hear that. So anyway, so you just keep us posted on your thoughts on that so we can at least have a big party.
Yeah.
And this is Commissioner Frierson.
Yes.
Heather, you have been such an inspiration. I admire you so much in terms of your dedication, your your knowledge of not just things that we discuss on the day of, but just all of the information that you bring to bear in terms of previous cases. You've been an inspiration. So if you leave us, thank you for being such a magnificent example.
Well, I mean, certainly I've enjoyed my time on commission. I wouldn't have stayed on, outside of enjoying it and outside of, feeling like I have a, ability and an interest in being a voice in the county. But I just think it's time for me to move on and let somebody with a little more time than I have work on this project.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Commissioner, for sharing that, and definitely keep us posted in that regard. Any additional comments?
I just want to second Ms. Frierson. Thank you for those comments. Thank you, Heather, for your service. And congratulations on getting really busy at work.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, definitely. Any additional comments?
Heather, thank you for everything you've done. Just keep us in mind. It was a pleasure working with you and learning from you, and definitely how to actually read a lot of these rules and procedures to figure out some things. Thank you for that. Thank you for your service.
Jason will help you out with that too.
Thank
For
you.
those that don't know, Heather and I were law school classmates. We go way back to eating lunch at Wendy's on Assembly Street, day after day, trying to figure it all out.
We'll talk about all the horror stories later then, Brandon. About that. All right, great, guys. Well, thank you for that. Is there anything else that will claim our attention today?
I can't remember the last time that I had a board or a commission that it didn't have Heather on it. So
I think it's been, so I graduated law school in '04, and I think I joined BOZA in '05. So it's been 16 years of service,
yes.
which is really scary.
Awesome.
All righty.
This county is certainly better off for people like you, Heather. So thank you again. All right. If nothing else, Chair, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I was gonna say nobody wants to leave.
So moved. I'll move.
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Frank.
Okay. Motion for adjournment. Chris,
Aye.
Carnes,
Aye.
Yankee,
Aye.
and Carlisle, Dennis,
Aye.
Grady,
Aye.
Taylor, Branham,
Aye.
Frierson.
Aye.
Right. The meeting is now adjourned.
Have a
Hey,
good-
Stephen.